you on TRT though? Because doing it naturally ain't that simple. So I've been posting some content recently, YouTube, old school, raw dog style. This is my exit. I'm cutting off lanes. Sorry. Thank you for your forgiveness. That said, I've been posting some content on YouTube, and I've been accused of taking steroids my whole life. Literally, I used to write for bodybuilding.com. Back bodybuilding.com used to have like an article section, and one of my stories that I wrote was how me and my buddy Brian, we were like very into weightlifting, and we used to spend my mom used to drop us off at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then his mom used to pick us up like literally 7, 8, 9, 10 if it was during the week. If it was on a Friday, sometimes it would be 11 o'clock. We'd be in the parking lot. He'd be throwing stones at me. I was playing baseball with my weight belt, and we were just like fucking around because we like literally grew up in the gym. This is obviously before we drove, and then when we were driving, that's a different story. But my point is, I was taking a piss one time in school, and I looked up and it said Minetti and Betska are juice buddies. And I got a kick out of it. Then I was like, cool. We looked at like we're taking steroids, and like at the same time, like, fuck, I wish I was taking steroids because I wish I was bigger than I am right now, but I didn't know how or where to get it. So one reason why I didn't do steroids back then, and then number 2 reason was if my parents ever found out, or they ever found shit in my bedroom, or found out that I was taking steroids, they would have literally beat me. And I mean, nothing short of a beat down my parents would have given me for taking steroids, because they knew that I shouldn't be doing shit like that. So anyway, and then I started my career, and it was always tempting to do it, but I never did it. I did take Andro back in the day when Andro was like popular with Mark McGuire and all that stuff. Before the organization that I was in, the IMBF, before that was the NGA. Before the NGA banned it, I was taking Andro. And if like the bottle said to take 1 or 2, I was taking 3 or 4. I was definitely taking Andro back then. But then, of course, when I started getting tested for it, when they said it's illegal now to do this, I stopped doing it because I wanted to compete naturally with integrity. I didn't want to. If I won a competition taking steroids, knowing I was in a competition that was drug free, it wouldn't settle right with me. My integrity, it wouldn't settle. I'd rather just take a bunch of gear and then go and compete in the NPC, which was non-tested. Why would I want to stay in this organization? So anyway, that being said, some comments recently. Somebody commented, I said, my simple trick for maintaining 10% body fat all year long. And maybe I'm like 11% right now, but I'm not too far off from 10%. If I were to clean up my carbs for like 2 weeks, I'd probably be under 10%. But anyway, I'm close to that 10%. I know some people are going to, like some person actually already called me out and say I'm not 10%. So maybe one of my videos, I'll do like a body fat testing just to see where I'm at. But I digress. The point of this message, the point of this story is that somebody asked me saying, are you on TRT though? Because doing it naturally ain't that simple. And I would argue that it is that simple, whether you're taking steroids or whether you're not taking steroids. You still need to be eating a certain way in order to get results. Like steroids aren't going to bring you like miraculously a lot of muscle without hard work, proper nutrition, proper recovery, hard training, consistently hard training in the gym. Like steroids just aren't going to just put muscle on. So if you see somebody who's taking steroids and they're a lot bigger than you, it's because they worked a lot harder, and of course the steroids do help with recovery. They help with strengthening your joints and your ligaments, and just you're able to do more, so you're able to speed up the building muscle process. Doesn't mean that you need that to build muscle, and it is that simple to build muscle. I mean, the story that the video that I'm referencing, it was one of my meals, and I was talking about how I eat and how I do my shopping to do my meal prep to get to my goal to maintain my body fat and all this stuff. So I just wanted a quick little video here to say that it is that simple, and stop overcomplicating it, and stop just assuming that somebody who's bigger than you is on steroids, or TRT is popular now, and I'm sure there are people on it who are bigger than you, but that doesn't mean that you can't do it. So it is that simple. You're just not doing it long enough, or you're not training hard enough, or you're not consistent enough. One of those three things. But if you're consistent, if you're training hard every single time you get into the gym, not like once a week, like you're hitting all the body parts consistently for years. It takes a long time to build quality muscle that brings you that look when you walk into a room. It's like, oh wait, that's a bodybuilder. He works out. And that was always my goal too, is to be big enough that I would look like a bodybuilder with my shirt off. I never wanted to be that guy. I'll talk about that body dysmorphia on a whole different video, but I never wanted to be that guy, so I didn't go to the gym to be bigger or to show off and to get attention. I did it for my own self-confidence, so I knew what I was bringing to the table when I walked into the room, or I knew when I was walking into a social environment, I felt confident myself. It wasn't for somebody else to tell me that I was big, or for them to notice me. It was for me to notice me, and for me to prove to myself. So anyway, went off on a little bit of a tangent, but it is that simple, bro. I mean, you're not training long enough, or you're not training hard enough, or you're not patient enough, and you need to be patient. So I will say it's that simple, and that's something that I will always say, because I'm doing the same things now that I've always been doing. And now I can't compete in the drug-tested organizations anymore. I've taken DHEA, which is, again, on the banned substance list. So that's a whole different story, a whole different topic. But I am not on TRT, and I will say that it is that simple. So that's it, man. Believe in yourself, trust the process, practice patience, take pride in your reps, be consistent, and you can build muscle. And don't use steroids as an excuse as to why you're not where you want to be right now.